Hey everyone, my name's Colin and you're watching What's the Buzz? Now there's been a lot of talk about the cicada emergence this year because it's a really special year. There's not one but two broods that are emerging this year. Now I live in the Chicagoland area, and so around here we're going to see the emergence of brood 13. So let's back up a second. So cicadas are insects, as we all know. So let's talk a little bit about insects in general. So insects are the largest class of arthropods.
Insects are characterized by having segmented bodies, jointed legs, and an exoskeleton. Insect bodies, in particular, are divided into three parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Insects all have a common developmental process. Cicadas go through what's called an incomplete metamorphosis, where the females lay eggs, the eggs hatch into nymphs, which look like small adults, and finally turn into an adult insect.
The cicadas out now are known as periodical cicadas. They're typical insects in many ways, except that this whole process doesn't just take weeks or months. It takes years, 13 and 17 years to be exact.
All of these periodical cicadas belong to the genus Cicada because they emerge in large numbers in mid to late May. They molt, they climb, they sing and mate, and then, just like a magic trick, they disappear for 17 years until it's time to come out again. The first evidence that you'll see are tiny holes in the ground where the cicadas are coming up from the soil. Then, when the temperature reaches about 64 degrees Fahrenheit, the cicadas begin to emerge, mostly at night. They climb to whatever vertical structure they can find, like a tree, telephone pole, or a fence, and they anchor themselves and perform their final molt. This can take up to an hour or more. They appear white at first, but as they dry, their wings unfold. Their exoskeleton hardens and darkens until they're in their final form. When they complete their molt, they climb and make a lot of noise to attract a mate.
So we're really excited about this natural phenomenon, but we understand if some people aren't as excited as we are. It's important to remember that cicadas are harmless. They don't bite or sting. Their mouths resemble sort of a straw to drink plant sap.
They won't devour your trees and shrubs like a swarm of locusts. Really, they don't have any defenses and are fairly clumsy as far as insects go. Many people have questions about your pets and the cicada emergence. We were able to talk to our friend Dr. Linda Copia, a local veterinarian, to answer some of the questions about cicadas and your pets.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Linda Copia. I'm at Hobson Valley Animal Clinic, and we do get a lot of questions about the cicadas. They don't come out every year, not that many of them anyway. And this is a big year for us, so I thought I'd give you some information about how to handle them and how your pets might want to handle them and what that all means to you. They're coming out now. This is the middle of May, and they're starting to emerge. They've been talking about it for weeks, but now the animals are starting to notice it. People are noticing that their dogs are not wanting to go on walks because they're being distracted and wanting to eat them. And it is okay if they eat them. They're not poisonous. They won't cause any problems. If they eat a lot of them, then sometimes they can get an upset stomach. Most of the time they get away with it and nothing really happens. But there are dogs also that will get stomach upset, and some of them will have cicadas in their stool. That's also nothing to be alarmed about. As long as your dog's acting fine, it's fine. Some people may be seeing information about how your dog can get an intestinal perforation from eating the shells. That's something that's really highly unlikely. It could happen, but it's something that probably will not happen unless they're eating a ton of them, and it would be kind of an odd situation for that to occur. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would distract them or discourage them from eating a ton of them so they don't get stomach upset, but really it's nothing to really be concerned about. They're a novel, interesting thing for your dogs to see, and I would let them check them out. They are not dangerous. We were saying about as far as eating them, there's no danger. They also don't sting, they don't bite. They're not super mobile, and even though they fly, they do not fly very well with any intent or coordination for the most part. So they're not going to cause any damage to your pet or attack them in any way. So if you're out walking your dog and you're seeing them, you don't have to worry about it, except for the fact that a lot of people don't seem to want to see them, but your dogs really aren't going to mind them at all.
Hi folks, Andy here. So even if you don't love cicadas, pretty much most people, they want to do whatever they can to help out nature, right? So one of the best things that you can do is to learn as much as you can about nature and all the inhabitants that live in it. Now we've already talked about the fact that cicadas are not harmful, they can't bite, they don't sting, they're not harmful to your pets, and they're not going to devour your plants and bushes. If you do have a young tree, they do advise that you put some netting around it if it's a tree you planted here. Otherwise, it'll be part of the natural pruning process and probably help out all the trees and bushes in your yard. And of course, experts all agree that trying to spray pesticides for cicadas, first of all, it just doesn't work, and it's going to be harmful to all the other critters and interesting things that live in your yard and in your neighborhood.
Well, that's all for this time. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on What's the Buzz?